Before Power Rangers, before Kamen Rider became a thing in local pop culture, there was one team that ruled our after-school afternoons, Chodenshi Bioman. We're famous faces and places, and in this episode, let's travel back to the late 80s and early 90s and rediscover how Bioman helped shape the imagination, values, and even dreams of a whole generation of kids growing up in the Philippines. Let's rewind the clock all the way back to the mid-1980s. In 1984, Toei Company in Japan launched the 8th installment in their Super Sentai series, Chodenshi Bioman, or Super Electronic Bioman. It was action-packed, futuristic, and full of laser-blasting robots and martial arts moves. But it wasn't until a few years later, around the late 80s, that Filipino kids got their first taste of it on local TV. If you were growing up in the Philippines during that time, you might remember watching Bioman every afternoon on IBC 13 or later on RPN 9 and GMA. That intro song? Instant goosebumps. But what made Bioman truly special? It was our first real introduction to the Super Sentai universe, a genre of Japanese superhero team shows where color-coded heroes fight evil using martial arts, teamwork, and giant robots. Long before the Power Rangers landed in the 90s, Filipino kids were already cheering for Red 1, Green 2, Blue 3, Yellow 4, and Pink 5. The original 5-man team with heart, style, and serious skills. Each member had a special weapon, a unique skill, and of course, a distinct color that we would fight over in every recess time roleplay. Bioman was more than just a TV show. It became a childhood ritual, a source of inspiration, and a shared memory for a whole generation of Filipino kids. It was one of the very first Sentai series that we truly embraced, and it opened the floodgates for many more Japanese superhero teams that followed. So why did Bioman hit us right in the puso? Simple, it was everywhere. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, Bioman was broadcast for free on local TV. No cable, no streaming, no DVD needed. Just your family's TV set with a makeshift antenna and boom, you're watching heroes save the world before dinner. For Filipino families, that accessibility was everything. It became part of our daily routine. You finish homework fast just to catch Bioman at 5 p.m. And let's talk about the characters. The Bioman team wasn't just about Red 1 being the leader. Oh no, Pink 5 and Yellow 4 stole the show. These weren't your typical damsels in distress. They were kicking butt, standing their ground, and holding their own beside the boys. For many of us, they were our first glimpse of strong, fearless female heroes on screen. Then there was the storyline, a mix of action, drama, and just the right sprinkle of sci-fi magic. Bioparticles, evil machines, genius scientists, and emotion-filled battles. It had it all. But underneath the laser beams and explosion effects, there were real lessons. Teamwork, sacrifice, doing the right thing even when it's hard. Bioman didn't just entertain us, it shaped our values. And let's be honest, we were obsessed with the robots. The Bio Dragon, the Bio Robo, that dramatic split, then combined transformation sequence, instant chills. Filipino kids have always loved giant mechas and transformation scenes, and Bioman delivered that in every single episode. It wasn't just a show we watched, it was a show we lived. And for many of us, it helped shape the way we dreamed, played, and believed in heroes. Now, if you were a true Bioman fan, you probably remember the moment everything changed. Yellow 4 died. For us kids, that was devastating. We were used to heroes winning. We were used to the good guys getting up after every fight. But this was different. Yellow 4 didn't make it. For many of us, it was the first time we saw a hero fall. A real lesson that even the brave sometimes don't come back, that being a hero comes with sacrifice. And yet the team moved forward, heartbroken but stronger, and we stayed with them every step of the way. But not all memories were sad, because come on, who didn't have a crush on not just the heroes, Yellow 4 and Pink 5, but also Neo Empire's Farrah Cat, the fierce, leather-clad villainess with those deadly moves and iconic stare. She wasn't just a bad guy, she was unforgettable. And surprise, she was played by none other than Cynthia Luster, the action star we later saw in countless Pinoy action movies. She might have been the enemy, but a lot of us, especially the boys, secretly rooted for her. Of course, behind the evil empire was the chilling genius Dr. Man, leader of the Neo Empire Gear, a half-human, half-machine villain who gave us nightmares, but also fascinated us with his twisted brilliance. He wasn't your average bad guy. He had a backstory, a plan, and a presence that made every scene intense. Bioman versus the 5 Beast Hypnoids. There's also one epic scene wherein the Bioman battled the 5 Beast Hypnoids, and the Beast Hypnoids also had their own roll call, just like the Bioman. That was unforgettably enjoyable. The Bioman vehicles speeding into action, the Bio Dragon flying across the screen, and when they launched into that transformation sequence, Biojet 1, Biojet 2, combined Bio Robo. That scene every time sent chills down our spines. And fun fact, there was even a mall in Manila with an escalator that looked exactly like the Bio Dragon. Some kids refused to ride it, others pretended they were boarding the Robo. That's the kind of impact Bioman had. It turned ordinary days into epic adventures. Whether it made us cry, laugh, or stare in awe, these characters and moments were stitched into the fabric of our childhood. Now let's be real. Watching Bioman was just the beginning. Because for us kids in the late 80s and early 90s, the real magic happened after the TV was turned off. Suddenly, every street corner, schoolyard, or backyard became the battlefield of the Bio team versus Gear Empire. You didn't need a costume, just a colored t-shirt. You called dibs on your favorite character, Akosai Red 1, Akosa Pink 5, and the next hour was spent running around with imaginary swords and laser blasts, jumping off stairs like you had wires behind you. It was our version of cosplay, even if we didn't know that word yet. And the merch? Oh, the merch. Bioman stickers on notebooks, lunch boxes, and even your brother's forehead. Coloring books you begged your parents to buy at the Sari Sari store. And let's not forget those cheap plastic toys with limbs that popped off after one epic battle scene, but we loved them anyway. Every birthday, every Christmas, we hoped for one thing. Something. Anything. Bioman. And in school, you better be updated on the last episode, or else you'd be left out of the morning chica. Nakita mo kagabi, si Pink 5 muntik mamatay. Our notebooks had more doodles of Bio Robo than actual math notes. Our imaginations were on fire. It wasn't just a show we watched. It was something we lived, breathed, and shared. A secret language among kids that only fellow fans would understand. Bioman wasn't just entertainment. It became a part of growing up Filipino. Bioman didn't just leave a mark. It opened the floodgates. After Bioman lit up our screens, we were ready, hungry for more. That's when the heroes kept coming. Hikari Sentai Maskman, Space Sheriff Scheider, Chojin Sentai Jetman, and eventually, Power Rangers took the formula global. But for many of us here in the Philippines, Bioman will always be the original. Even decades later, we still remember the names, we still know the poses, we still get goosebumps when someone suddenly yells, "Red 1! Green 2!" That kind of memory doesn't fade. In fact, Bioman never really left. With reruns on cable, DVD reissues, and now fan pages and throwback posts all over social media, the fandom is alive and well. And what's more amazing? A whole new generation of kids is discovering what made it so special. Bioman didn't just shape our childhood, it shaped a movement of courage, color, teamwork, and the belief that 5 heroes could make the world a better place. On January 21st, 2023, something truly magical happened. After decades of watching them on screen, the original Bioman cast, Red 1, Ryosuke Sakamoto, Green 2, Takahiko Oda, Blue 3, Akito Osuga, Yellow 4, Sumiko Tanaka, and everyone's childhood crush, Pink 5, Michiko Makino, reunited, not in Japan, but right here in Manila. It was part of the TokuSpirits event, a celebration of tokusatsu heroes and the fans who never forgot them. And when they stepped onto that stage, time stopped. Suddenly, the Batang, 80s and 90s, now in their 40s to 50s, were kids again. Wide-eyed, starstruck, emotional. They lined up with posters, old toys, even VHS tapes, just to shake hands, get autographs, and say the words they've waited decades to say. Thank you for being our heroes. Some cried, others brought their kids to witness the moment. It was more than nostalgia. It was closure, connection, celebration. Because how often do you get to meet the heroes who shaped your childhood? In that room, it didn't matter how old we were all Bioman kids again. And for a few unforgettable hours, our heroes weren't just on screen, they were right in front of us. And just like before, they reminded us that it's never too late to dream, to fight for good, and to believe in heroes. Bioman may have been just a TV show to some, but to us, it was so much more. It was a formative memory, a bridge between childhood and courage, a show that taught us to believe in teamwork, to stand up for what's right, and to dream beyond what we could see. So let me ask you, who is your favorite Bioman? What's your most unforgettable memory watching it? Share your stories in the comments. I'd love to read them. And if this episode brought back even a little of that childhood spark, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the icons of our past. Now, I'll leave you with something truly special. Bioman's nostalgic ending song. I remember hearing this tune with mixed emotions as a kid. It always meant the episode was over, and that we'd have to wait another week to see what happened next. But at the same time, that melody made you smile. It was catchy, comforting, and even a little silly, especially with that final scene where our heroes are cleaning the Bio Robo like it was just another chore after saving the world. And honestly, that's what made it perfect, because even superheroes had to do cleanup duty. Until next time, this has been Famous Faces and Places, and as always, Bio Team, fight.